You're 34. Last night, Marcus sat on your couch and asked to borrow money. 10 years ago, you and Marcus started the same job, the same week, at desks facing each other, on the exact same salary. Marcus worked harder than you. Everyone said Marcus was going places. You believed them too. Last night he asked you for $3,000. You said yes. You didn't check your account first. You didn't need to. The difference was never the paycheck. It was one quiet thing you started doing at 24. The thing everyone laughed at. The thing some people pitied you for. You did it anyway, in silence, for 10 years. This is how you escaped the rat race before anyone even noticed you were leaving. Rewind. You're 24. You have a real job. Salary, benefits, a desk with your name on a little plastic sign. Every 2 weeks, money lands in your account. And every 2 weeks, it's gone before the next deposit. Not on anything crazy. Rent, a car payment, subscriptions you forgot you signed up for, lunches, small upgrades that each feel like nothing. You're not broke. You'd never call yourself broke. But you're one flat tire away from a problem you can't solve. You just don't know it yet. In March, you get a raise, $4,000 a year. You feel like you made it, for about a week. Then a nicer apartment, a better phone. The raise dissolves into a slightly better version of the same life. 6 months later, you need the next one. You're running as fast as you can, and you're standing in exactly the same spot. By Friday nights, you've stopped checking your account. You already know roughly what it says. You just don't want to see the number, because looking would make it real. Marcus looks at the same paycheck and does the opposite. He buys the car, a black BMW 3 years old, payments he calls nothing. He pulls into the lot, and 2 guys walk over to look at it. He stands beside it like a man pulling ahead. You stand beside your old Corolla like a man standing still. Because you are. You don't know it yet, but the way off this ledge doesn't look like winning. It looks like losing on purpose. It happens on an ordinary Tuesday. Your manager stops at your desk. Good quarter. There's a bonus coming. $2,000. You wait to feel something. Nothing comes. That night, you do math you've never done before. Not this month's math. The math of your whole life. 40 more years of this. 40 more years of the paycheck landing and leaving. And at the end of it, what? You'll have given everything you had, every single day, and still be one bad month from broke. The thought doesn't scare you, it empties you. The next day, you notice a man you've walked past 1,000 times. He's almost 60, drives a 10-year-old Honda, never seems worried about anything. You ask him, half joking, how he stays so calm. He doesn't laugh. He says, there's a difference between looking like you made it and actually making it. Almost nobody knows which one they're chasing. Then he goes back to his coffee. You don't. That night, you open your laptop and add up everything you actually have. The number is small, embarrassing even. Then you do the one thing nobody ever taught you. You decide that from now on, every payday, the first bill you pay is the future version of yourself. Before rent, before the car, before anything. You move money out of reach, into a place your future can find it, and your impulses can't. You write the number on a piece of paper. You open the calendar on the wall and circle a date, the day you could be free, if you just kept feeding the future and starving the noise. It's years away. You fold the paper. You put it in a drawer. You tell no one. You didn't quit your job. You didn't make a speech. You just quietly started paying yourself first and let everyone keep believing you were falling behind. You're 26 now, a friend has a birthday dinner, 12 people at a long table, and the question goes around the way it always does. So what are you up to these days? What's next for you? The guy across from you just made senior manager. The woman beside him just bought a condo. They have answers. Big ones. Loud ones. The question reaches you. You say you're still at the same job. You say things are fine. And you watch their faces do that small, polite thing they do when an answer disappoints them. The conversation moves on a beat too fast. You drive home, and you feel it. Not poverty. Something worse. You feel like less. Like you're falling behind in a race everyone else is clearly still running. For years, your job title was your answer to the question, who are you? You just gave it up on purpose, and you have no idea what goes in its place. You don't know it yet, but you just survived the hardest part of the whole thing, and it had nothing to do with money. You're 27. Marcus parks his BMW next to your Corolla one Monday, new wheels on it now. He looks at your car, then at you, and his face isn't cruel. That's what makes it worse. His face is worried. "You good, man?" he says. "Like financially. You good?" You say you're good. He nods slowly, the way people nod when they don't believe you. "If you ever need anything, just ask." At lunch, two coworkers don't see you sit down behind them. One says, "I feel bad for him. He works hard." The other says, "Maybe he sends money home." You don't correct them. You have more saved than both of them combined, and you can't say a single word about it. So you eat at your desk. You say nothing. You let them think whatever they want. Nobody noticed. That was starting to be the point. You're 29. This is the part nobody warns you about. You're doing everything right, and it feels worse, not better. No applause, no raise that announces itself. Just a number in a drawer, growing so slowly it might as well be standing still. Your best friend buys a house, sends the photo to the group chat, keys in hand, sold sign, the whole thing. 20 people react. Fire emojis, so proud of you. The phone buzzes for an hour. You stare at it too long. You type something. You delete it. You can't match that. Not yet. Maybe not for years. Nobody's ever going to react to a screenshot of a number. You're not even allowed to show them. That night, you take the paper out of the drawer and look at the circled date. Still so far away. 5 years of doing the responsible thing, and this is what you have to show for it. A date on a calendar and a number you're not allowed to be proud of out loud. You lie awake, and for the first time the thought arrives fully formed. Maybe they were right. Maybe I'm the idiot. Maybe I gave up the good years for a spreadsheet. You don't know it yet, but Marcus is feeling the exact opposite of this right now. And that's the problem. You're 30. One night you open the car app just to look. A newer model. Financing available. Your thumb hovers over the button. You imagine pulling into the lot. You imagine the two guys walking over. You imagine feeling like a player again, just once. It would cost you everything you've quietly built, you know that. And for about 30 seconds you don't care. Your thumb stays there, over the button, in the dark. You don't know it yet, but in 3 weeks, the decision is going to be taken out of your hands. It comes on a Thursday. A layoff sweep, half the floor, gone by lunch. You and Marcus both get the email the same morning. This is the moment that ends people who live on the edge. And for a second, standing in the parking lot holding a cardboard box, you think it might end you too. The fund is there. 7 years of saying no, sitting in a drawer. But it's not enough to coast forever. Only enough to survive if you protect it. So you make the choice that guts you. You move back in with your parents. 31 years old, your old bedroom, the same crack in the same ceiling you stared at as a teenager. You cancel the one trip you'd finally let yourself plan. You sell the motorcycle you spent 2 years fixing up on weekends. The one thing you owned purely for joy. You take the humiliation instead of the debt. And Marcus? Marcus keeps the apartment. Keeps the BMW. Keeps posting. From the outside, he handled it better than you did. He never moved home. He never looked like he was struggling for a single day. He just did it the only way he could. More debt, a worse job grabbed in a panic, the whole image funded by a hole getting quietly deeper underneath him. Everyone thought you were the one who fell. Marcus still looked like he was swimming. He wasn't. He was drowning in a way nobody could see, because looking like he was swimming was the entire game. The doubt dies in that childhood bedroom. Nobody noticed you were the only one who was actually safe. They were too busy noticing you'd moved home. You go back to work eventually, but this time it's a job you chose, not one you grabbed because rent was due Friday. You could afford to wait for the right one. That had never been true before in your life. And slowly, something shifts. Time stops being the thing you're always running out of. A flat tire becomes a Tuesday errand, not a crisis. A bad boss becomes a thing you can walk away from, not a cage. The number was never impressive, but it bought the one thing nobody on the edge will ever have. Options. The ability to say no. The ability to wait. The date you circled at 24 comes and goes on an ordinary Tuesday. You don't even realize it until that evening. Nobody throws a party. You almost miss it yourself. You just look up at the end of the day and notice, quietly, that you crossed it. And one by one, the people who used to look like they were winning start asking you the same question, lowered voice, almost embarrassed. Hey, how did you actually do it? You didn't escape by working less, or caring less, or being smarter than them. You escaped by playing a harder game, one with no scoreboard, where you had to decide what winning even meant, alone in the dark, with nobody clapping for a single move you made. You're 34. Marcus is on your couch, holding the coffee you made him, asking how you did it, and he means it. You think about the date you circled 10 years ago, the dinner where you felt like less, the night your thumb hovered over the button, the childhood bedroom where you were sure you'd lost everything. 3 years ago, you were lying in your parents' house, certain it was over. Turns out that was the exact moment you'd already won. Nobody knew it yet, including you. You look at Marcus, and you tell him the truth. For 10 years, nobody noticed you were winning. Not your friends, not your family, not him. And that's exactly why it worked. You finally stopped playing a game that needed an audience. The race doesn't end when you get rich. It ends the second you stop running for people who were never watching anyway. Maybe you already left. Maybe you're still on the edge, telling yourself you're fine. Maybe you're the one about to circle a date nobody else will ever see. If you do, nobody's going to notice but you. That's not the tragedy. That's the whole point.